Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of High Energy Girl, and today I'm super excited to welcome Charla Chatman. She is a health and wellness coach with a background in massage therapy and yoga. And the things we talk about are really cool, such as the hero's journey, about adventure trips, about teaching English in Japan, and about a meditation center. So let's go and say hi to Charla.
You strive to keep your family healthy, bosses and employees happy, and the home life smooth. But now it's time to focus on you. This is High Energy Girl, a fun show focused on helping you get healthier and feel amazing.
It's time to ditch the excuses and start living your best life.
Here's your guide to help you increase your energy and empower your life. Health coach and personal trainer, Tracy Gluheit.
If there is a way that you could literally turn back the hands of time, have a better mood, more energy, libido, greater muscle tone, improved memory, healthier hair, skin, nails, I know I want healthier skin, lose the chicken neck, better joint flexibility and mobility, some fat loss, especially around the midsection, increased strength and bone density without having to swallow a bunch of pills. If there was a way that you could have all these benefits, would you want to know about it? Well, the answer is here. We have the only FDA-registered transdermal, over-the-counter human growth hormone product. To check out some juicy details, head on over to highenergygel.com. And don't forget to join our Facebook group, High Energy Girls. That way we can be in contact and chat every day. Hey, Charlotte, thanks so much for coming on the show today.
Thanks, Tracy. I am so stoked to be here.
Well, you are so absolutely adorable that I can't wait for you to share, your life and your wisdom with our listeners.
Awesome. Yes, I grew up in Spokane, Washington, and, I went to Ferris High School. My mom taught at Gonzaga, so I grew up going to those basketball games, and I went off to go study school or study a little bit of pre-med at Loyola University of Chicago.
Oh, cool.
And that's where I, for the first time, was in a big city, and it was really diverse, and I started to think about studying abroad. And so that's when I really stepped into my passion for traveling. And right after I graduated, I went to, I always wanted to do something random after going to college, and I thought, maybe I'll volunteer for like 6 months in Africa. And what I ended up doing actually was going to Japan, where I ended up living for 6 years. And so that was quite an experience. But after that, I was pretty done with wanting to be in like a junior high or elementary environment. And just from, a transformational process I had over there, I really didn't really take care of my health as I had when I was, a collegiate track and field athlete, or, in high school doing all my sports and whatnot. And so I just started to explore yoga for the first time, and meditation, and getting massages once a month. And basically that really just got me into, the natural way to, put things in your body that, doesn't irritate your gut, and using essential oils or carrier oils to help clear my acne, and just really started to explore health and wellness through my own like healing process. And so that just kind of brought me into naturally seeking to become a massage therapist and yoga instructor. And then just from a lot of people on my massage table, just asking me a lot of questions about, what do I do to eat this way, or what should I do to get in shape? And that led me to get a health coaching certification, which I found through the Health Coach Institute. And so now I totally feel like I'm living my higher purpose, combining it with my desire to continue to travel the world and explore. And so I have been taking people on outdoor excursions here in the Pacific Northwest. I'm in Portland, Oregon at the moment. And yeah, I just talk to people about the hero's journey to kind of instigate that feeling within of why we travel and how we leave the ordinary world to go out into this special, amazing environment and come back feeling like a badass or like a hero or just totally fed, like in the soul, right? And then I have been combining that with my coaching services, and that's just kind of my all-around nutshell of who I am.
Well, you said a lot that we're going to unpack.
Okay.
Okay? Like you just gave me the 5-minute version of everything. So I want juicy details, girl. Okay, so
cool.
You were in Japan. So what made you decide to go to Japan?
So it kind of started to back in high school. I realized so I grew up in a military family, and everyone in my family they lived in Europe, and I was the only family member who hadn't been out of the country. And so just my desire to explore beyond like the US and Canada, I started, end of high school to really think about, okay, where can I go and when will I go? Some people would study abroad in high school, and I thought they were crazy to like miss out on like high school dances and stuff. I just didn't get it then. But when I went to college, studying abroad was totally a goal of mine. Freshman year, after freshman year, I studied in Spain. Then I studied again in Mexico. So my desire to leave the country again after college was really, really the only thing I wanted to do. And so, long story short, when I was studying in Mexico, I told my roommate I think it would be a good idea to go to Japan because I knew absolutely nothing about it. And one day when we were standing in line for a Chipotle burrito with our school IDs, that was going to be completely complimentary. I asked my friend, what are you doing after this? And she said, oh, I'm going to this like info session to teach English in Japan. And it was like I felt that light bulb above my head from that time I was laying on my bed studying abroad in Mexico, telling my roommate, I think it would be a good experience to go to Japan. I know nothing about it. And then boom, went to the meeting, I applied, got accepted, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to Japan. So that's how that happened. So
cool. That was something I wanted to do. So when I was in college, I'm going to date myself. So this is in the mid to late 80s. I was an international business major with an area of studies in East Asia. And so I studied Japanese for 2.5 years.
Nice.
So I was supposed to go to Japan, but I didn't have like a program to go through, unfortunately. And so I chickened out.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah, totally. I went to Europe instead.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So
at least went somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, but it was just more of a vacation than like like doing something serious. So you were there 6 years. Was that planned, or were you just supposed to go for a year, or what?
So when I went there, I was thinking, let me go for 1 year will be good, but I'd really like to be here for 2. I feel like that would be a good immersion. But, then I started to create goals. I was like, I really want to have Japanese friends, like call me and invite me, and for me to be able to have fluent Japanese and joke around with people. That took me 3 years to accomplish. Then I had a boyfriend. Then I was in a band. Then, it was just like life. And
cool.
I just stayed to basically max out the contract. And that's why I stayed so long.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then when did you start looking inward at your health? When you were there or when you came home?
Oh my gosh, definitely when I was there. So I first, when I was living in Japan, I was in the countryside, and long story short, I moved to Kyoto. And when I moved to Kyoto, I did not sleep. It was just so interesting, and I was having so much fun meeting a bunch of other foreigners, but also just exploring this amazing historical, but also new Japanese city. And so, and I was living in this amazing, like old Japanese house, and it was phenomenal. But again, I wasn't sleeping, and dating people who were like bartenders, I was drinking a lot of alcohol. And I was also, a lot of people, when you think of a Japanese diet, it's super healthy, but I definitely was taking advantage of these like baked goods and pastries at the train station that was by my school. And so, long story short, I developed really bad acne, like painful to the touch. I developed candida in my gut. I had intestinal issues, super bloated. And I just was like totally not that collegiate athlete anymore, or that, active, bright, clear-skinned Charla that I once knew. I totally was very different. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then what'd you do?
Honestly, so I always thought to get a massage, I always thought that would be something for my birthday or like a Christmas present. Like someone should buy that for me. But I had these two friends in Japan that are amazing dancers, and I would always cross paths with them when they were on their way to get this shiatsu treatment by this amazing shiatsu therapist named Ella Albiser. And she's from Switzerland, but she has a small practice in the mountains of Kyoto. And I booked an appointment there, and my life was changed. I started to get a massage once a month, but that first massage, I told her, Ella, because she has like a really organic home and a garden and even like a Buddhist shrine in her shiatsu room. And so I told her, I'm interested in meditation. She introduced me to, and right after that massage, she introduced me to the most amazing teacher, Doug Duncan and Catherine Poisserat, who are at Clear Sky Meditation Center. But during their time in Japan, I met them, then I met a yoga teacher. So I just started to tap into consistent massages once a month. Ella also gave me essential oils. And so I started to just smell those and see how it helped my sleep like nothing else. I was so amazed. I was digging deep into meditation. So I really started to like implement these practices, and Ella, one day she said, don't eat apples. And I looked at her, it's like an apple a day keeps the doctor away, right? And, she's like, if you don't believe me, don't eat them for a week and then eat an apple and tell me how you feel. And that was the first time, Tracy, for me to pay attention to how I felt when I put something in my stomach. And that, when I have that burning sensation, or, when I feel this bloated or something, like, that's not normal. Like, that's something going on. And so basically by investing in myself and getting a massage once a month, it was this kind of like accountability of taking care of myself. But then I had this community with the meditation Sangha for me to just stay consistent, but continue to explore what consistent self-care looks like in the ups and downs. Like, it wasn't this all uphill and healing myself. Like, I had to really explore what it's like to make a change, but start to like say no to friends, or like I've been drinking all of these years and now I'm seeing how that's affecting my gut, but I'm being so social, and that's like Japanese culture to go out and drink. So I really was going through a lot of social and physical explorations with just simply massage therapy. It really changed my life.
Interesting. So yeah. Why did she say not to eat apples?
So with shiatsu, you can tap into so she's phenomenal. She did this practitioner has a complex practice of a little bit of like craniosacral, but also with shiatsu, you work the meridians. So it's a bit of of her intuition, but also what she is feeling and how the body's reacting in her body work. Like, she is a phenomenal, phenomenal body worker. And I can't recommend her more to anybody.
Huh. Where is she at in Japan?
So so her husband, Russell Trott, they together run a gym called CrossFit Kyoto. So yeah, CrossFit is big. When I joined the gym, I had no idea what CrossFit was. But anyway, they have put together a beautiful environment which also has yoga and stretching upstairs. But Ella is, I haven't been in Japan for years, so I forget the train station because it's in Japanese. But she is Yamanashi, like she is in the mountains, kind of in the the northwest corner of Kyoto. Mm-hmm. So if someone wanted to just reach out and find her, just go to CrossFit Kyoto and you will definitely you'll be able to find Ella through messaging them.
Okay. We'll have to find that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like I went down too long of a path for you because I feel like there's so much more to uncover. So you did all that there and then you ended up staying there till the max of your contract, 6 years. Then you came back to Oregon?
No, the journey still goes. So in a nutshell, right after Japan, I backpacked Europe for 3 months, and during that time, I got accepted to be a volunteer English teacher for Peace Boat. And I won't explain what Peace Boat is because, but basically it's in detail, but it's an NGO that is a cruise ship that goes literally around the world. So I did that, Southern Hemisphere from Japan, went to some phenomenal places. And for example, after we crossed the Atlantic, we went to Brazil, Argentina, through the Magellan Strait to Ushuaia, and then up to Chile and Valparaiso, and ended up doing Peru, Easter Island, Tahiti, and Papua New Guinea, and then back to Japan. So after that, and that was literally a crazy, amazing experience, I went to my meditation teacher's retreat center. So the teacher Ella introduced me to, they have a retreat center in Canada. It's called Clear Sky Meditation Center, and it's 4 hours from Spokane, where I'm from. So did a little West Coast road trip after Japan and went to the meditation center for 9 months. And that's where I decided to become a massage therapist. So I moved to Seattle and went to Cortiva, which I do not recommend, but anyway. I landed a seasonal job at a National Geographic Unique Lodge up in Alaska. So that was my first massage therapy gig, and I made good money up there. So in a few months, June to September, I made about 10 grand, and I bounced to India, Nepal, and that's where I got my yoga certification, and then that's how I landed in Oregon. Is right after that, then I came back to the Pacific Northwest.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so you're a massage therapist. How long have you been in Oregon?
I've been here about a year now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And so then what was the next steps? You did massage, and then you did yoga, and then, and then you're a health coach as well.
Yeah. So pretty much as a yoga instructor, this is kind of like my vision and how it came together is when I was at the meditation center, I stopped Facebook and I started Instagram. So this is 2013, or maybe 14 is when I started Instagram. And, I didn't really know what was going on, but I was like, I don't want to be friends with people. I just want to use this to look at art and things that I love to look at. So all of a sudden I come across yoga accounts, and I just noticed that, wow, these chicks are they have thousands of people looking at them doing yoga, and then they're doing these retreats around the world, and they're selling out. When at the time, I was at the retreat center, they were trying to run their retreats, but canceling them because not enough people were signing up. So I got inspired. I thought, okay, I want to do these international retreats myself. But what it's basically come down to, Tracy, is literally after being around the world with Peace Boat, after backpacking Europe and even in my own travels in Asia and Australia and whatnot, it's like the Pacific Northwest is beautiful. And we always come to like the thought of the grass is greener on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And as a yoga instructor, wanting to go to Bali and whatever and wherever in Greece and Mexico, but really bringing it to like the grass is green right here, you know, and really focusing on taking people on outdoor excursions here and doing yoga outside here in the Oregon, Portland area, but even just exploring Cascadia, even Washington and up in BC, Banff and Alaska. Like, I love this area. So what I've been focusing on is just taking people to get them outside, whatever it takes, whether it's a meetup, whether it's a put together retreat, or whether it's like my own car and a friend. I'm just on a mission to explore where I'm at while empowering other people to show up for themselves as I did in order to transform my life.
Oh, that's so cool. So you're not having to fly somewhere yourself personally, so you can just be home and whoever shows up, shows up. What's the biggest group you've had that has gone on one of your retreats or adventures or whatever you call them?
So at the moment, I like to keep them small because
it's more intimate.
Yeah. And I really, as much as possible, want people to have like a breakthrough experience or like aha or insight while they're doing this retreat with me. So the biggest retreat I've had so far is, I believe it was a total of like 12. And that to me is like, you know, if I get to 15, that would be max. You know, I really like to keep it small.
And what's the last thing you did?
So I took a group of people out. So focusing on the hero's journey and like unique or extreme outdoor experiences, or taking them deep into the subconscious through like meditation or like a really nice yoga session. But this experience I recently did is I found a mycologist, someone who knows a lot about mushrooms, as mushroom foraging is really big here in Oregon in the fall. So I took a group of people with a mycologist out to Tillamook State Forest, and we harvested, I called the retreat Forage and Retreat, or Forage and Eat. So we foraged all kinds of mushrooms, talked about the varieties we picked, and learned what was edible. And then we just cooked a few of the mushrooms that were edible out in the forest and had like some soup and just, you know, talked about the hero's journey and just how good it feels to forest bathe, and just got some shrooms.
Okay, so you've said some stuff there that I want to talk about. So
yeah.
So you keep referring to the hero's journey. Is that, and it sounds familiar, is it like something from Japan?
Oh, it's a concept that was created by Joseph Campbell. And basically, so he wrote a book, it's like A Hero with 1,000 Faces. And he basically talks about the hero's journey because this is something we all are a part of and we all have seen and watched in movies. Dorothy leaving Kansas and leaving the ordinary world into the special world. And she meets her mentor, Glinda, who then she goes on this journey. There's trials and tribulations, but she comes back a hero after all the stuff that she has went through. So basically the concept is how you and I and everyone on this earth, we're on a journey. And once you're in the ordinary world, you have a call for adventure. So something within, whether you want to go camping, whether you want to go on an international trip, whether you just, there's something within that calls us to do something, right? And then there's just a few steps that he has basically created to kind of explain the journey someone goes on when they have that call for adventure and leave the ordinary world going somewhere, and they like meet the mentor, whether it's Aladdin and the genie, or, you know, and then you got to fight the battles or Mother Nature. It's just a way for me to explain literally, like, as an individual, getting out of the city and the work, the grind, the stress, and be able to, that call for adventure to go outside and to just get connected or just to do something different and switch it up and just travel. And because along the way, there's a mentor, I thought, wow, that's a really cool way for me to combine coaching with traveling, you know? And so, yeah, it's just something that when I explain it to people, like they really start to realize like there is a reason, like a higher reason why we travel, you know?
So would you recommend for the listeners to read the book, or is there another way for them to understand this deeper?
You know, there are some really good YouTube videos, and I can't quote the one that I really like, but I remember thinking the guy kind of looked like Simon Sinek.
Oh.
And maybe it was, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't, or else it'd be like quite popular. But yeah, I would say YouTube it. But yeah, and definitely if you're more into reading things, like definitely pick up his book. I would, yeah. I mean, it's not always for everybody, so I don't know if I necessarily want to recommend it.
Oh. Well, what would you recommend? So what actionable tips do you believe with all of the stuff that you've gone through that you would like to, teach our listeners?
Basically, this is the thing. If you want to travel, if you want to get outside and feel connected with yourself, do it. Like, don't let money or weather get in your way. Like, there's a way to, because that's the third step in the hero's journey, is a refusal to the call. And a lot of that can come up as, oh, I don't have the money, or I don't have the gear, or, I don't have a car. I mean, that's understandable, but where there's a will, there is a way. And for example, I really don't like the winter season, but this year I'm really determined to gear up properly so that I'm warm and not wet, and be able to not sink into any kind of seasonal depression or get like in that winter slum of like, oh, I'm just, gaining weight and not getting outside. You know what I mean? It's just do it. Just do it. Like, ask a friend, hey, do you want to do this road trip with me? Like, join a meetup and just get outside. That's my advice.
And I totally hear you, because I am not a winter person. Like, yesterday it was pouring rain here and I didn't even want to leave my house. Like, I am so not a winter person.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
And so I hear what you're saying, but it is true. Like, the other day I went and I walked my dogs in the rain just to be outside.
Yeah. And see, when you say that sounds so lovely to me. Like, I can just smell the rain right now. And then, like, with your dog, I love dogs so much.
Oh, me too. I have 2 yellow labs. They are so spoiled, I'm telling
perfect. Good.
Totally spoiled, but they're my babies. So nice. Out of all the places you've been, what is your favorite?
Oh my God. That's a good question. But you know what? I have to say Papua New Guinea. That, Tracy, that was the last stop on this around the world voyage. 100% honesty, I was really debating not getting back on the ship. 100%. I had lived in Japan 6 years. I had no reason to go back there. I landed in the spot that I had dreamt of making a documentary. I saw the most phenomenal caldera, which is basically like 10 feet from the shore, like 10 feet off the road, a volcano collapsed. And there was a 300-foot drop, but there was water. And it was the most phenomenal snorkeling of my life. Like, and the people and the food and the simplicity and, Papua New Guinea. I can't wait to go back.
Okay, you're going to laugh. I don't even know where that is.
It is like, I guess you would say Southeast Asia. Yeah, it's like kind of over by Indonesia-ish, and
okay.
gosh, I mean, do I say northwest of Polynesia or north of Polynesia? Yeah.
Okay. That makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
I told you I'm not very good with geography. Like I kind of suck at it. So
It's all good.
I'm always asking people, where's that? So that's cool. I mean, I've only been to like Europe, and that was a long time ago. And my heart, like my desire is to travel. So it's fun to get ideas from people, you know?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, let me ask you some other things, okay?
Okay.
So, as far as a health coach, what besides the travel and, you know, that stuff, what other things do you love people to know? Cuz health is such a dynamic topic, and to me, like a lot of people focus on food or movement, but I feel like it's deeper than that.
Exactly. That's why I took a moment, because I was like, so what do they need to know? Is
just based on your own experience, what helped you?
What helped me was tapping into my gut intuition, and that I needed to make a change, but no one was ever going to tell me that. You know, just follow your gut, because there's an amazing documentary on even Netflix. I think it's called The Second Brain, Your Stomach, but it really talks about the neurons in our gut and why there's legit now scientific backed up evidence of why we have a gut intuition. Like there is something really raw and real about what's not coming up in the frontal cortex, but what literally do you feel in the gut? And I coach a lot of people that way, but just beyond, as you said, coaching, like from doing what you want to do in this one and only lifetime, listen to your gut and follow your heart.
Yeah, that's why it's there. And it's funny because right now I'm studying quantum physics and bioenergetics, and that is there for a reason, you know? And
yes, exactly.
it is incredible what you learn.
Yes.
So that's funny that you said that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then as far as like, what is your favorite form of self-care?
Oh my goodness. You know,
because you've said a lot. I just want to know which is your favorite.
Honestly, I love soaking so much.
What do you soak in?
So I recommend, but I love Epsom salt soaks, but also I feel blessed. I am a member of Knot Springs, which is in the building I live in, and it has a cold plunge, a eucalyptus steam room, a sauna. Oh, and I just love it.
It sounds, and it's in your building?
It's amazing.
Oh my gosh, that's like my dream. Like I would love to have like a float, or what is it called? A floating pool.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, Dave Asprey, like Bulletproof Radio, you know, he has Bulletproof Labs. I'm like, I want all that stuff, you know? Like the infrared sauna, that is the next thing on my bucket list. My husband said, okay, in January. But I found the best brand of infrared saunas. And so that's on my list. But it's like, I would love to have just all those little toys, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you have it right in your building. You are so lucky.
Yeah, no, I am. I don't take it for granted. It's wonderful.
Oh, that's cool. What's your guilty pleasure?
Oh my God, this is so I really totally feel guilty doing this, but I love it. I love driving around Spokane, Washington, listening to the Goo Goo Dolls.
Is that a band?
It is a band. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's probably beautiful in Spokane, Washington, I'm guessing.
The South Hill, it is so cute and charming. And then you just go down the hill to downtown. It's it's just super nostalgic for me. And I will blast the Goo Goo Dolls or just like cross my fingers, they come across the radio, and I am just like in heaven.
Yeah, I can imagine you doing that with a convertible and just like loving life. That's funny.
Oh, life goals, yes.
And what's your favorite food?
Crawfish.
Crawfish? Oh my gosh, I don't think I've had those before.
Oh my God, my family is from New Orleans, and some crawfish with some potatoes and corn.
Do you make it at home, or do you like have to go get that at a restaurant?
No, my Uncle Jeffrey and Uncle Guy, they get the crawfish boil going, and like it is a process. It's a big thing my family does during Easter, actually, but yeah, I've never, ever, ever cooked them myself.
Okay, well, it sounds delicious. That's something I would probably try. What about, do you have a favorite quote?
Yes, I do. It's something, yes. It is my quote, showing up short is a disservice to the world.
Oh, that's a good one. I love these quotes. I swear, I'm a big, big, big quote person. Yeah. And so I love them because they just, I don't know, I use them all the time when I'm talking to people or working with people or just, in general. But that's why I love all that.
Me too.
What about a favorite movie or Netflix show?
Oh my God. This kind of totally ties into everything I've said. Right when I came back from Japan, I landed on one of my friend's couches up in Seattle, and I was introduced to Chef's Table, and to this day, I love that show.
I wonder if
you have not seen it, Tracy?
Oh, I don't know because I don't watch TV ever. Like, so if somebody else has it on, then I'll see it, but I'm not a TV person.
Oh my God, me neither. Honestly, I was coming back after 7 years of not watching American TV or really movies. I was totally disconnected, but this TV show highlights the quality and craft of phenomenal chefs, and each show is like amazing and inspiring. And for a tourist and a foodie like me, I can't recommend it enough.
Okay, well, that's something I might be able to watch. I don't like the news. I don't like sitcoms. I don't like stupid movies or TV shows. I'm really particular about how I spend my time. I love to read. But I also, that's one of my dreams, is to make enough time into a day that I can, because I actually eat food just to eat food. Like I don't post pictures of my food like a lot of people on Instagram because it doesn't ever look pretty. Like I just kind of,
Yeah, I gotcha.
But I would love to be able to do that. Like really, experience and explore different recipes and stuff. Oh, that's another thing. What is a favorite recipe of yours? Like something that you make?
That's a really great question. My favorite recipe is this smoothie. It's like Maca and Friends from a restaurant here called Canteen. It is almond milk, a banana, maca, some dates, almond butter, and if you wish, like a little bit of like vanilla bean or like vanilla almond milk. And that is like my jam.
It sounds tasty.
I love it. It's so good.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that sounds delicious. I don't do any sugar any longer, so I'm totally like off the sugar because honestly, for my own body, I had to go that way. So I just absolutely had to get off of sugar, and so it has healed my mind. It's healed my body. It's healed everything.
Yes, mine too.
So, but even the fruit, like even anything sweet, like even if I make a low carb dessert, I want more and more and more of it. So I really just try to, like I changed my palate so that I just don't crave sweets any longer.
What about, do you do fruits or anything with a low glycemic index?
No, not right now. I live on a farm. We have 80 fruit trees, and I truly do not even eat fruit. Well,
wow.
Wait, I take that back. When we harvest, okay, so like this last summer when we harvested like apricots and peaches, I might have had one.
Wow.
But like before, I would be out there picking fruit and I'd like eat one and then I'd eat another and another. Like the sweet just kept me wanting more of that. And so I decided that in order for me to be healthy, I just don't eat sugar. So like nothing. So.
Whoa. Wow. Good for you.
Well, it's just, that's how I had to take care of myself. And people make fun of me all the time that I don't eat fruit. But, that's what I need to do for me. Like, you do you, I'll do me.
Yep.
And plus, I understand about what fruit does to, our body. And so I just don't do a lot of fruit. Right now, I'm doing a test. So I decided that for the next while, I'm going to try a lot of different things so I can be open-minded and see how I feel. And the big buzz right now is going carnivore. And I never would think I would do it. But yesterday I ate some vegetables and I have had a stomachache ever since. So I thought, I'm going to see what happens to my body. And I'm just going to do it for a little while. I don't know how long, maybe 3 days, maybe a week. I don't know. But I'm just going to kind of do mostly carnivore and see how I feel.
Nice.
So,
well, how long are you going to explore this for?
I don't know. I started today. So I thought, because yesterday, like I had some broccoli and some broccoli sprouts and my avocado and my stomach just was so bloated. And I was talking to a couple people yesterday and they were talking about carnivore. And I'm like, I've never tried it. So I cannot make an opinion on something that I haven't tried. So I thought, well, I'll just try it and see. And I'm very particular about food quality, so I had just some grass-fed beef when I broke my fast, and so I'll just see how it goes.
Nice. Oh, I'm so excited for you. I love when people, make a change and start to explore something new. It's like my favorite thing.
Well, I just want to have something to, like, number one, I want to have something to talk about. Number two, I want to be able to see what works best in my body because we're all bio individuals and who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
So anyways, listen, so where online can people find you? Like, what are your social handles, website, contact, and, like, how can people find you online?
Yeah, so my name is spelled Charla. And then my last name is Chatman, Chatman, and that's my handle. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook. I even have a Pinterest account, and you can also find me on LinkedIn. So, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's how I found you, LinkedIn. And
thank you.
Did you say your website?
Yes, www.charlachatman.com.
Oh, okay, that's easy. I thought you had another one.
Oh, yes, I had. So the Charla Chatman one is just about coaching, and my other one is transformandretreat.com, and that is the one about my outdoor excursions and my hero's journey. So I actually recommend everyone to go to that website because it's my favorite.
Yeah, I actually looked at it before. It's nice. So
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's pretty. So anyways, I just want to thank you so much for coming on the show today, my dear. You are so adorable, and it's just so fun getting to know you and hear from you and learn from your wisdom.
Tracy, seriously, thank you so much for reaching out and simply launching this podcast. Like, it takes someone to start it off. So thank you. Absolutely.
Wasn't that awesome? Now, don't you just want to go and do something that you've never done before? What would that look like for you? What would that be? I don't have a very big sense of adventure, so I can't think of anything I'd really love to do other than go to the Grand Canyon, ride down donkeys. I really want to go see Niagara Falls. And of course, I want to go scuba diving in Fiji. Okay, so what is on your adventure list? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the show. Please head on over to iTunes, give us a rating and review. And if you know anybody who would make a great guest that has a wonderful message to share, please send them my way. Thanks, girls. Go out and make it a great day. This podcast contains the opinion and thoughts of its host and guests. It is intended to provide helpful and informative material on the subjects covered. All statements made on the podcast have not been evaluated by the FDA and are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. If the listener requires professional assistance or advice, please contact your personal medical doctor. Both host and guests specifically disclaim any responsibility for any liability, loss, or risk, personal or otherwise, which is incurred as a consequence directly or indirectly of the use and application of any of the contents of these episodes. Like I said, this is my opinion and I could be wrong.